Hello again. We go with the last panel of the morning, of this morning, here in the track 2 of Biospain. If 2 hours ago we traveled to Hong Kong, now we're going to travel to Gipuzkoa. With these experts, we're going to try from Navarra, from Pamplona to Gipuzkoa. This travel is thanks to Columbus Venture Partner and Silo, who is supporting this panel of experts. Ángel Sánchez is the moderator. He's a partner in Silo and is with Iker Estensoro, Javier García Cogorro, Gurutz Linazasoro, and Gloria González Aseguinolaza. Ongi etorri. And very welcome, and we are going to listen to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you to you all for attending this panel. So, I will try to make it short. So, first of all, let me just give a brief introduction of this field. We are going to talk about advanced therapies. This is indeed a very promising field, science, research in the pharmaceutical industry. At the beginning of this year, I was reading a report from McKinsey, the global consulting company, and I was surprised seeing how this field has been growing steadily, but in a continuous manner during recent years, reaching a number of around 96 different therapies now in place, cumulative numbers. But at the same time, I was really surprised when I read that one of the main constraints we could have in Europe regarding this new business is the shortage of manufacturing capability. This is very important. And another remark I would like to highlight, the lack of talent. So I think we have a very interesting opportunity in a field which is growing rapidly. There are businesses behind, there are many chances, many opportunities to address, but at the same time, we need to focus on talent and, as I said before, manufacturing. Just simply 2 main remarks to make an introduction short. So now I would like to give you a brief introduction of the people here with me, the speakers, the relevant people in this panel. First of all, Iker Estensoro.
Thank you.
Well, he's an industrial organization engineer from Mondragon University, and also he holds a master's degree in competitive manufacturing from the University of Strathclyde in the UK, that's right, in Glasgow. Well, he started his career in Ikerland as a researcher, and also he has held different positions in Orklili, which is a company in the Basque Country. And well, after different positions, now he became the General Director of Economic Promotion in the local government in Gipuzkoa, Diputación Foral. And at the same time, he holds different positions in Fundación Biociencias, Biodonostia, SIC Capital Gipuzkoa. So, well, thank you very much, Iker, for being with us today.
Thank you to you, Ángel.
Next one in this introduction is Gurutz Linazasoro. He's an MD, Doctor of Medicine, a neurologist with a long track record and working in Alzheimer and Parkinson. Dr. Linazasoro has been the principal investigator in more than 60 clinical trials. At the same time, he has published more than 150 scientific papers, and he holds different awards, 3 from the Spanish Parkinson Awards, and also from the Spanish Society of Neurology and Parkinson's Disease. At the same time, Mr. Linazasoro, he is the CEO of Vive Biotech, a company. He will have the chance to tell us more about what you're doing in Vive Biotech. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Next, Gloria González Aseguinolaza. She holds a degree in biology from the Basque Country University and at the same time a PhD from the Spanish Research Council in biology as well. She spent 3 years working in New York University, developing vaccines for malaria and other topics. Then she returned to Spain and joined a group of gene and advanced therapies in CIMA, University of Navarra group. And nowadays, Dr. González shares his activities in academia with the position of scientific director in Vivet Therapeutic. So later on, we would like to know more about what you're doing and how you have jumped from academia to entrepreneurship. Thank you, Gloria. And finally, Javier García Cogorro. Well, he's a mathematician from the Complutense University in Madrid, and he also holds an MBA by ICADE. He has developed most of his career at Lilly, 25 years with different positions. One of the most relevant remarks or highlights in this trajectory was the launching of an implementation of the venture capital activity in Europe within Lilly. He has been an investor, member of the board of, and director and advisor of different companies, and since 2016, Mr. García Cogorro has been a founding partner of Columbus Venture Partners. At the same time, he has been the CEO of Viralgen, a company that we know very well. He is having a remarkable success. So, well, this is just an introduction. So, I would like to move to the first question I want to address, and Iker, you will be number one.
Okay.
And I would like to know more about the Gipuzkoa commitment to advanced therapies. I would like to know how you had managed to combine different assets in coming out with a regional strategy which is boosting advanced therapies in Gipuzkoa.
Okay. First of all, I was joining the Gipuzkoa Provincial Council, I think, two years ago. And I'm involved in different areas, first in Big Gipuzkoa, and also in Bioscience Foundation, that is a joint initiative in between Kutxa Fundazioa and Gipuzkoa Foru Aldundia. So I have seen during these years how different projects are developing and what we are doing locally in Gipuzkoa. For instance, as a sample in Big Gipuzkoa, since the beginning of our support, Checking Tech, Barnetekin, Ekintzaile, we have been supporting more than 150 projects that they are related to bio. And more or less, from those 150, 50% are medtech, 20% are pharma, and other 15% are e-health. More than 50% are already in the market. And I will say that there is a milestone that it was in 2014 when we created the bio incubator, where we are supporting specifically those projects that are related to bio. So nowadays we are creating the new one. We are increasing our facilities and capacities for the bio incubator, and I think it's a milestone that is going to support us for better and more projects for the future. In Big Gipuzkoa, we are having the main objectives we are having is promote new projects on the field of biotechnology, bioscience, and health, supporting and specialized services through all the entire process, from the research centers to the market, even it's coming from the research center or different entrepreneurship. Valorization of the project with both people from Big, but also together with specialized people all over Spain, and specialized training. So that's Big Gipuzkoa, what we are working with. And on the other hand, we are having the foundation, the Bioscience Foundation, together with Kutxa Fundazioa, with two main goals. That is, one is supporting financial support, and the other one is the sensibilization that we are having. So those both are that, okay, mainly focus in bio. I believe that we are having a dynamic area, growing sector with added value projects. And if we want to become a reference area sector in bio, we have to carry on working in that sense. And we are having some specific assets in Gipuzkoa, Basque Country, Navarra. I'm speaking globally. Important scientific and technological capacities. One. Modern and well-known public health system that is working on innovation. A specific ecosystem that is supporting the entrepreneurship. Generating different bio companies from that. Having support with tractor companies like Vive Biotech or Viralgen, that is also having, and then interinstitutional financial support. That is, okay, all together we are trying to support with a specific strategy on how we should support the financial area with tax minorization and so on. And then the strategy on talent that you were speaking about, that it's the manufacturing is important. Gipuzkoa is a manufacturing area, but talent also is one of the points that we have to work on that. Everything based on the strategy that we have defined, and that's our role, just supporting the bio companies and working all together in order to achieve the objective we have defined.
Okay, thank you very much. I think you had made a reality a kind of quadruple helix in which we have on one blade, one side, government support that you're carrying on different activities. On the other hand, industry, we have companies. We have two examples here. They are becoming tractors of ideas, projects, at the same time, the right funding, venture capital, or other sources, and research, the academia. So I mean that putting together all these elements is really a key factor. We have heard about it many times, but in this case, I think that you are succeeding in making it real. So thank you, Iker. Later on, we can continue getting in detail about what you mentioned before. And now, Gloria, I would like to jump from the government side to the academia. You as a scientist, I would like to know more about how you see the role of scientists in this scenario depicted by Iker, in which we have government giving support. So I would like to know your opinion, since you have a hybrid position, you are coming from the science side, but at the same time, you have a role, scientific director in Vivet Therapeutics. So what do you think about it? How could we do to extract more from science? And what is your opinion and experience about it?
Well, first, as a person coming from the academia, it was like 10 years ago, it was like a dream, no? To bring something you are doing in the lab to the clinic, because of course we are working in a center that is developing products to cure patients, but you don't know how to do it. So it's very important when you are working on that to have the support from people that knows how to do it. Government support, but also support from VCs that push you towards reaching this, the clinical teams, no? Because otherwise, for us, it's very difficult. I mean, you don't know how to do it, and you need to be guided by the people that know how to do it. And in my case, for example, I was really lucky to meet some years ago Javier, because he was the one pushing me towards this adventure, which it was really, at the beginning, I was really afraid because you don't understand the language. So it's very important that you are supported by people that has already gone through this path, no? So, and we started like this. We have a very, very interesting product that has the possibility to cure people with a rare disease. And we make a team with all the expertise to do that, and also the money, no? Because at the end, we have like this feeling of not missing money and science. And this is a big mistake, because if you don't have money, you cannot reach the clinic. So I think it was a long procedure, but we understood how to do it, and we are now in the phase 1 to clinical trial with a product that started at the laboratory. So the experience has been very good.
Okay, excellent. I think that you pointed out something which is relevant, in my opinion, which is the role to be played by experts. I mean that in any activity in life, when you learn more about it, something is when you have beside you someone that had done it before, and then you have the opportunity to not make the same mistakes, or just to go for the shortest way to reach, let's say, an investor, or just to come out with a plan. So I think this is something very important. We should think about it, how we could use these experts, this specific talent, to make this process easier. So, well, thank you very much. So now it's time to move on. So now, Gurutz, it's your turn. So You have, again, hybrid profile, scientist, doctor, entrepreneur. You are the CEO of Viva Biotech. So I would like to know more about what do companies like yours need to consolidate their position? Talent, investment, a combination of both, whatever. So I would like to know more about your experience, and feel free to answer me in English, Spanish, or, well, English, Spanish would be a good choice.
Yeah, probably a combination of both. But first, let me say that if you don't mind, I'm going to speak in Spanish because my English is not so fluent as to express my ideas in this area with precision. So, entonces, si me permiten, lo explicaré mejor en castellano. Decía Sid Brenner, que es un neurobiólogo premio Nobel, porque fue el neurobiólogo que se pasó 20 años para identificar y para trazar toda la red de conexiones del sistema nervioso del gusano milimétrico, del Cerominitis elegans, con un microscopio electrónico, 302 neuronas, hizo todas las conexiones. Él decía que para que un proyecto triunfe o siga adelante en investigación, hacían falta 3 cosas: tecnología, ideas y personas. Decía, probablemente por este orden. Es decir, en el fondo estamos hablando de financiación y de talento, que yo creo que son los 2 grandes retos y las 2 grandes necesidades. Y en este sentido, la verdad es que en Gipuzkoa y en el País Vasco por extensión, hombre, podemos decir que estamos francamente bien. Estamos bien fundamentalmente en la primera parte, en las startups, en el apoyo a las startups, en el apoyo al emprendizaje, dejando de lado toda la parte universitaria y toda la parte académica, que también tiene su aquel y en el que no entraremos. Estamos muy bien también en el arraigo que se intenta mantener para las grandes compañías ya consolidadas, con ayudas específicas, pero creo que tenemos un déficit en un momento crítico para la vida de las empresas, que es el momento del crecimiento, el momento de dar el salto de escala, el salto en todo, el salto en necesidades y el salto en financiación. Y aquí es donde creo que tenemos un serio problema, porque el arraigo y el mercado libre empiezan a estar en un equilibrio inestable. Y si queremos mantener el arraigo, pues algo tendremos que hacer, y si no, pues nos veremos un poco abocados a ventas, a low cost ventas o a low cost deslocalizaciones, que es un poco algo que preocupa, porque está sucediendo. Entonces, la manera de evitar esto, evidentemente, es con una mayor colaboración público-privada y con fondos público-privados. Los ejemplos más paradigmáticos, uno es la Yosma en Israel, que la Yosma tiene sus peculiaridades también, y los propios emprendedores israelitas se quejan de que las grandes empresas se van porque no se les mantiene suficiente tiempo, pero bueno, hay que entender un poco la cultura, incluso parte de la religión, en el sentido de comunidad que tiene el mundo judío en este sentido, ¿no? Muchas se van a Estados Unidos, pero bueno. Y el otro ejemplo es Baviera. Hace poco pues, nos desayunábamos con una noticia de que Baviera ponía en marcha un fondo de 200 millones de euros para esa fase de crecimiento de las empresas, ese salto cuantitativo y cualitativo que tienen que dar las compañías si quieren sobrevivir en el mundo de la biotecnología. El lema es crecer e innovar o morir. Entonces, pues ese es el déficit que en este momento encuentro, y que, bueno, seguro que hay muchos mecanismos que pueden ponerse en marcha para intentar solventar ese problema e intentar conseguir las 2 cosas, es decir, que la empresa siga creciendo, que siga revalorizándose, manteniendo el arraigo en el territorio.
Muchas gracias, Bruce. La verdad es que son palabras muy inspiradoras. Por favor, déjame que haga un resumen en inglés para que yo... So just let me point out something you mentioned. 3 factors: technology, ideas, people, key ingredients, with a focus on funding and talent. You also mentioned that. And I think it's very important what you have said about the link, the strong links with the territory, with Gipuzkoa, how to maintain. This is difficult when you need additional funding. And how to deal with that in a global market is complicated. And I think that probably is one of the areas in which we need to work with. Just not to support some startups to start working, but how to attract funds, how to make the value proposition, let me put it this way, of the region attractive not now, but for next years and next generations. And this is really a challenge in which Gipuzkoa has been succeeding for decades, but every year is a new challenge. So very, very important point. So now the key factor, according to what you said, is right funding and structures to provide the scaling up of companies that now they have, let's say, a very good position. Thank you. Muchas gracias. Well, and finally, at last but not at least, Javier, so I would like to ask you, just moving on regarding the territory, and is a proposal like the one being developed in Gipuzkoa attractive per se, or do we need something else? And I would like to know your opinion, because in your particular case with Columbus and Viralgen, you have succeeded. Last year in October, we read about the deal with Bayer, and well, I think to an extent it's also a good example, a milestone regarding the strategy in the territory of Gipuzkoa. But I would like to know your opinion about it, about these key competitive factors and how this deal is moving on.
Okay, so thank you for the question. Thank you to all for attending the session. I think for us, Gipuzkoa was a big discovery, because when actually I developed all my career in the US and came to Spain and start building my own venture capital fund with my partner Damia Tormo, and we started looking for different opportunities, and we suddenly discovered that there was a big gap in the market in terms of manufacturing, manufacturing capacity for advanced therapies. And we started looking around in all Spain, around where to put the facilities, where to put the investments. And we have a big discovery in Gipuzkoa, because as the British said, the proof is in the pudding. So someone can say, yeah, we have a great environment and come here. But in the case of Gipuzkoa, in the case of the Basque Country, the reality for us was phenomenal in terms of, first, the willingness to listen, the willingness to have a conversation around the different projects. The second was the ability to collaborate with all the institutions on all levels. So I remember the first conversation with Ainhoa, I think you are in the room, with Ainhoa at Puru, and then all the elements from the city, Diputación to the Basque Country government. Everybody has their own role. But for someone coming from outside, it's very difficult to understand all the interconnections of all these elements, but they made very clear to us who was doing what and make it simple. I'm sure that behind the scenes was not so simple, but for us it worked out very, very well. And the last part that for us was critical, the main reason why we decided to put our facility and our investment in San Sebastian in Gipuzkoa was because we thought that the talent development, the ability to attract talent was very, very important to us and very possible in this part of the Basque Country. So for us, it just became the real thing. And we have validated that all over the 4 years. Balagen is now 4 years old. It looks like 10 or 15, but it's a 4-year-old company. But we have been able to attract talent from France. We have been able to attract talent from other places of Spain, other places in the world. But more important, we have been able to develop local talent through the Formación Profesional, through the dual programs. And right now we have 40 students that are working with us for 2 years. And then they become employees after that, and with a curriculum that is really our curriculum in partnership with the Centers of Formación Profesional in Gipuzkoa. So for us is the main thing. So I would say that you look at the business of Balagen, and you look at what Gurut is saying and Vivek is doing, and this idea of how do you retain a business in a territory only through intellectual capital. You never retain a business through capital. We investors put capital, but if you develop intellectual capital at the same time, this business is going to stay there. So you need to be always asking the question, what I'm doing is unique, is differential, and second part, how am I going to keep the competitive advantage that I have? And the only way is through training, through improvement in the knowledge, and that's going to attract companies to come. And I joined, and then I moved into the discussion with Bayer. Bayer came to us through a very interesting process, because we did a whole due diligence with Asbio, as the parent company of Balagen, in a partnership with us in Columbus, through Zoom. Everything was done through Zoom. So never seen in my life that we could do a M&A transaction not seeing each other. There was only one exception. They came to Gipuzkoa. They came 2 days to Gipuzkoa to see Balagen. And they wanted to check 2 things. First, probably for sure, if the building existed, if the company existed. But the second one that they were really interested is in the talent, is in the knowledge that we have around gene therapy manufacturing, and in the ability we have to maintain that knowledge. That was absolutely critical. So at the end of the day, when people ask me what Bayer bought knowledge, Bayer bought intellectual capital. And right now we are going to become one of the centers, one of the nodes of Bayer infrastructure in terms of advanced therapies, and they are looking at Paragen and the ecosystem that we are creating there as one of the reference points for them in Europe. So at the end of the day, everything is back to people. Everything is back to people that are properly trained, properly organized, and back to Gloria's point. Science is important, but management is important, regulatory is important. We need to understand that in order to make this business happen, we need to bring all the elements together. Without this cluster of elements, something's going to fail. And that's normally something that people forget. And the role of the government is to enable this ecosystem, enable this integration. And that's what I think the government in Gipuzkoa and in the Basque Country are doing a very good job in listening and implementing the recommendations of the groups who are telling them, you need to improve this because that's what the business is going.
Okay, thank you very much. I think that, and thank you for this very, I would say, humanistic message saying that back to people, intellectual capital, and this is really, really important. As you said, that normally most people tend to think that the real key factor is just funding, which is very important. We need it. Guru's mentioned that is a key prerequisite for scaling up, for growing, but having access to right people, right talent, I wouldn't say not only PhD. We need people with the specific professional training to become operators, technicians in one production supply line, expertise, giving guidance, people making the transfer from science to technology, and your role making all these relationships effective. Not a problem. It is something that really works, and everybody knows the role to be played, and when it's needed, to support deals, opportunities. So now I think that probably we could, I think I have a couple of additional questions to you, but you don't mind, maybe we can open just a space for people here in the audience. Do you have any question or comment? I think, feel free. Any burning question? You know, I have a light that's in front of my eyes, so it's very difficult to see you. So probably this is one hand raised, but I cannot see it. Okay, so is there a question? I will continue. I have something else. I would like to know more about, and just this is to you all, so feel free to answer. So I would like to know what remains to be done. What remains to be done in these good examples of public-private partnership? What remains to be done? And what is, and something additional, what do you think about the role to be played by the European funds, the next generation funds that they are coming? So what do we need to put in the magic recipe of Gipuzkoa to continue being successful, and also we can extrapolate the model to other regions? Any of you?
Okay, what we are doing. Okay, nowadays, what we are doing is verifying the strategy we are having and verifying which are the role we should have and what not to do. Because it's important to decide what should not be done by the government as well. So we are now thinking about the strategy on bioscience. But possible improvements we are having. One is that even García Cogoro was telling that it was not the critical point, is the funding. That I will say the smart capital, attraction of venture capitals, developing the ones that they are local, but not just only the funding itself, but intelligent funding in order to first aligning the project with the market, shortening the timing, just having partners that they are going to support the business itself, and improving the whole process as it is. So I think we have to focus, and we are supporting the venture capital by having taxes and some support on that. So that's I would say that one. Then maximizing the collaboration that García Cogoro was telling as well, the collaboration in between the different health network and all, and having this collaboration as well in between the manufacturing that we are having in Gipuzkoa. We are having small, smart production capacities, and I think that we can take advantage of this through all the supply chain of new therapies. And of course, by doing so, we'll be able to bring people that and talent that they wish to join us, because we are having a nice job, a nice project to work with. So that's, I think, we should work on. Regarding the European funds, okay, I think that they will shorten the timing to market, but the strategy we are having should be something fixed, even we are having or not the European funds.
Good point. Good point. Thank you. Thank you, Kerr. Good, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, no, just to mention that after the pandemics, the role of biotechnology in any society is quite clear now. And I think that nobody doubts that it is a strategic sector. And if the goals of the European funding is to modernize and to transform a country, I think that the biotechnology is a good sector to bet, because it's a sector with a lot of new employment, especially for young people and especially for young females, which is also another objective of the funding. No? So I'm quite optimistic, but not sure.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think it's really a very, very good point that, and I have seen it, one of my daughters, she's now studying biology, and she told me the same, that now it's in fashion. People, they have become really interested. Now we have seen how rapidly we have developed new vaccines, RNA vaccines. They have been really a breakthrough. And now we have just turned our face looking at biology. Come on, this is important. We should pay attention to this. Maybe we'll need it in the short term, who knows. So it's a very good point. And at the same time, you mentioned we have the right momentum, how people say in the UK. So now is the right momentum just to look at biology, biosciences in general. Thank you. So well, Javier, Gloria, want to add something?
I think I will say that maybe it's not very politically correct, but we need a long-term view. We cannot, I mean, science and innovation requires from politicians a strong commitment, but not the period they are,
4 years.
they are on top of the government, but a long term. So I think this is very important, because now, yeah, we are going to have the European funding, but for how long? And what happens when this is finished? I mean, we cannot do a project of 4 years, and after 4 years, everything is put in the garbage. So we need a long-term view, but from politicians, because we know where we want to go. So we need politicians. I think in Gipuzkoa in particular, and in Basque Country in particular, this is very clear, because it's quite stable for a long time. So it has been quite stable. So I think they are now, we can see now the goals they have reached. No? But I think this is very important.
Thank you, Gloria. Very, very important point that despite the political color of any government, I think that you have a strategy, as you said, a firm, strong commitment with the strategy, you need to maintain it. It's not a matter of political party A, B, or C. This is not a partisan debate. It's something which is a bet on your talent, your territory, your region, whatever you want to say. Yeah. But it's something that must be kept in the long term. Javier?
Well, for us as investors, that stability is important. Understanding the rules of the game and knowing what happens is very important. And what's missing right now, and we are going to continue working, is this creation of ecosystem. We believe that once we have something, we need to continue building, and our commitment as Columbus is to continue building. Actually, we'll be announcing this week or early next week a new facility that we're going to build for synthetic chemistry in Vizcaya, in Zamudio. And we have other projects that we are incubating also to continue building the ecosystem. We believe it's important. We understand also the local government and the regional government is very committed to that ecosystem. And also, if we want to stay in this world of very competitive manufacturing of advanced therapies, the ecosystem is fundamental. The pieces need to integrate together, and they need to have meaningful ways of collaborating. And I think there's an opportunity in the Basque Country and in Gipuzkoa to really achieve that. And obviously to take advantage of the European funds with that. But the funds need to come after the project has started. It's not the other way around. Because we have funds doesn't mean we need to have projects. We have to have projects first that are properly structured, properly supported by the private sector, and then the funds can support them. Otherwise, it's going to be a waste of time and money.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your comments. And I'm afraid we have run out of time. The conversation was so vibrant. We could continue talking about your experiences, your talent, your success for hours, but now I think we have to stop. Simply think that this is a reality. This is not just a presentation, a PowerPoint with different slides of different colors. This is real. We have real examples. Gloria, Gurutz, Javier, Iker, people that they have done something great in the region, combining talent, funding, ideas, research. So simply it's time to stop. Thank you very much for your attendance. Muchas gracias. And I think that if you want to know more about this initiative, I think my colleagues here today in the panel will be glad to talk to you or share some insights about what they have done. Muchas gracias, and thank you very much for your time with us today.
Mila esker, muchas gracias. Thank you very much. We wish you all the best building this important biotech business. And now it's time for another break. So we stop 1 hour and a half, and we will be waiting for you at 4 o'clock because we will talk about next generation. Bye.